Red Rat Run past 2 Jetons. Well, the zoom probably is not worth it, the squeeze. Juice is not worth the squeeze on the zoom. There we go.
Welcome to the 2025 Bagel Fest presented by U10B1.
Good morning, hockey fans, here from Blaine Super Rink. It's rink number 3. It's the semifinals of the U10B pools, and it is a intra-district matchup between the Spartacats at U10B1 Blue and the Hastings Raiders. Hastings Raiders taking second place in the other pool, and the Spartacats and Raiders matchup here for a semifinal that is taking place in an ungodly early hour in Blaine, Minnesota. Public address announcer having a little challenge with the AV system. We expect introductions here momentarily, as well as the national anthem, but again, we are at the mercy of the public address announcer.
Today's game,
and here we go.
Today's game presents the Spartacats and Hastings. First, the visiting team representing Hastings. In goal, number 31, Audrey Ciro.
And we'll let the public address announcer take this away.
On defense, number 7, Alex Boyer. On defense, number 89, Andy Ellen. Starting forward, number 10, Nora Torning. Starting forward, number 3, Hartford Crosby. And starting center for the Raiders, number 27, Alexander Stair. Now for your home team, the Spartacats. In goal, number 35, Melissa Wilmer. On defense, number 77, Ira Donahue. On defense, number 23, Lauren Kwan. Starting wing, number 34, Bridget Baker. Starting wing, number 28, Elora Marshall.
Minutes on the clock. The national anthem has concluded. And the Spartacats come over to salute their fans. Now we'll head back to their bench. The Hastings Raiders are the opponent today. The Hastings Raiders in their royal blue with the yellow and the white trim. Coming out of Hastings, Minnesota, the Spartacats in their home whites with the red numbers in the royal blue trim. First period action ready to start here in this semifinal. Eden Miller out as a forward, along with Baker and Murcell. Murcell with an opportunity early. Brings that, tries to slide it to the middle. Miller chases, sends it across ice, and rolls to the near boards. Murcell centering pass. Tries to get this one out of her skates. Good defense there that time by the Hastings Raiders. Now they'll try to clear the zone. And it does slip out. And this will come for Cron. Cron will come back for that one. Skate around the net. Look for an opportunity. Fires the pass, but it's intercepted that time by the Raiders. Deflected in front of Wilhelm, who has started in goal for the Spartacats. Donahue and Cron were your starters. Murcell brings that across. Gets hauled down. I think she's wondering kind of what happened there, and that was not incidental contact. It looked like she was hauled down, but referees in this tournament have been incredibly permissive in terms of contact and penalties. We'll see if that continues with an icing call, 10:47 to go. And an offensive zone face-off for the Spartacats to the right of the Hastings keeper. I think Laura Murcell had a point there. It looked like she maybe got yanked down from behind. Again, power plays not particularly effective for any of these teams, but still, you like to see penalties get called. Olsen, Nurka, and Bauman, your forwards. Scott and Shack, your defenders. Shack's going to break her neck to get there. This one goes down into the corner. Hastings with it, tries a centering pass, but it goes behind Wilhelm's cage. Bauman, the first one to it, gets it out to neutral ice. Olsen tries to get at that one, but the Raiders put it back in. Offside, and a neutral zone face-off. The other semifinal game features Wyzetta. That's right, the Wyzetta team that these Spartacats beat 5-0 yesterday. They are in the other semifinal based on what was a relative upset as Centennial Spring Lake Park defeated Shakopee Prior Lake. And the other team in the semifinal matchup is another District 8 team, Woodbury. So the Woodbury Predators on the other side of this one. So in any event, no matter how it shakes out, as Nelner brings that through neutral ice. Donahue has it on her stick, sends it down into the end, and Miller, Nelner, and Murcell will go to work. Hastings wraps that one around. It comes to Donahue at the point, plays it in nicely for Nelner, but Nelner has a little trouble controlling it, and now Hastings comes back the other direction. Good back check that time by Nelner. And the Cats hammer that one out into neutral ice. Hastings had just tagged up. This one comes into the middle. Cron has it. Takes a hit off of a skate. Gets out as Miller not able to control that one. So the other semifinal, as I said, Hastings and Woodbury. We'll see how that one goes. It's facing off at the same time. We're not going to get in-game updates. It gets dumped deep by the Spartacats, and they go for a change. Baker with the deep forecheck. Nelner lurking in the slot. That puck's going to come out. Olsen shoves that back in, but Baker had not cleared the zone. And some Rolling Stones for you here. Early morning hours from Blaine, Minnesota. One of the strangest places on earth for weather. And now some interesting intermission music. As Olsen takes that face-off, won by the Raiders. This comes for Scott. Zoe Scott and Olivia Shack, your defensive pairing on this sequence. Scott shoots from distance. Good pad save that time by the Hastings goalkeeper. Scott with another opportunity. Filters that down towards Olsen in the corner. It's claimed there by Hastings. And now a loose puck bounces towards the side of the net. But the Raiders alert to the danger, and they'll whip it the other direction. This gets by a couple of players. Shack breaking her neck to get there. Doing a good job getting that out. Hastings still in the zone. Hastings has to clear the zone. Now they clear the zone. But Shack comes away with it. Can't get it out of her skates. Comes to the near side, and Scott whips that down into the other end. Opportunity here for Nurka. What a step by Nurka. Nurka shoots and scores. And Izzy Nurka cashes in for the Spartacats. What an interception with 8:15 to go here in the first period. And a very loud PA system. Sorry, folks, that is abnormally loud. But a good start here for the Spartacats. Good start here for the Spartacats as the Spartacats are trying to get the right girls on and off the ice. Well, the music was so loud, I don't think the girls knew what they were doing. But Nurka with a great step that time, read the play, stepped right in front of it. And the keeper had most of the goal covered, but couldn't stop that one. Miller, puck handling right there at the blue line. Feeds it across for Nelner. Nelner in the corner. Fires that one towards the net, hits the side of the net. This one, oh, good passing combination there. Nelner's got to get that off of her stick. It just can't swipe at it. Pinch from Donahue. Donahue does keep it in. I thought Donahue was going to let that slip out of the zone. Raiders with it in the zone. This one comes for Donahue near the point. Good play that time by the Raiders to try to get it out, but again, it stays in. Good forecheck that time by the Spartacats. Raiders a little unlucky that they didn't get it out in those sequences. Cron battling far side. Spartacats bunching up a little bit over there on the side. It's Nurka, Meller, and Nelner, your forwards. Nurka, the goal scorer. Little extra bounce in her step, perhaps. Meller has this in the corner. She's going to fire a cross-crease pass. Opportunity for Nelner. On a one-timer, almost worked. Good job by the goalie getting her pads down to that one. And the Hastings Raiders clear the zone. Nelner pitches that forward. Spartacats changing behind. This is going to be icing, except it's waved off as Donahue gets to it. Sends it forward, but the Spartacat forward's not on the ice yet. Now here's Cron with an opportunity. Hastings Raiders were changing. Cron's going to bring this up and over. She gets in over the zone. She sends it in towards the blue line. Opportunity! It was loose, and Marcel could not find the back of the net. Cron fires another pass across, and it sits in the crease. The passing for the girls this week has been spectacular. Nelner with it, feeds that forward. This is Olsen. Olsen overskates that one, but now she sends it in. Cats need to get their shape back a little bit. This one gets whipped down, and that's going to go for icing all the way down. They waved off icing. One official had his arm up in the air. The other official said no. Little surprised on that one. Puck gets out of the zone, but puck gets out of the zone, sent back in. Now it rolls behind Wilhelm's cage. This is Olivia Shack. Sends this to the half wall. This is Olsen. Olsen with an opportunity, a little burst of speed, now gains the zone, has two players to the middle. Olsen driving right all the way in. Good back check defense that time by the Raiders, but this falls for Scott, who shoots from distance. Rebound is in high in the slot, but nobody in a white jersey able to get to it. Spartacats right now getting to most of the loose pucks. And the Hastings Raiders now just trying to get it out of their zone, get a little bit of offensive zone time. Here come the Raiders through neutral ice. She cuts to the middle, goes wide. Scott tries to backhand that one out of the zone, can't. This shot comes in, it's deflected on the way in. Scott whips this forward. This is Olsen, puts it right on her tape. Maren Olsen with an opportunity, comes in, shoots. This is partially blocked. She's gonna bring it in again and shoot from distance. Opportunity for the Spartacats if they can jump on these rebounds. Nelner sends that down to the end line. Raiders try to clear. Cats hold it in so far. Miller with an opportunity. Good cross-ice pass, but again, nobody there for the Spartacats. Cron was pinching in. Nelner covers for her. Now Cron back to her position, sends it in towards the crease, but again, no one there. And that'll go for icing with 4:16 to go in a rapidly moving first period. And Ruth Jaywar will take Wilhelm's spot in goal. 4:16 to go here, first period. Meller, Nelner, and I think Baker, your forwards. Cron and Donahue, your defenders. Score 1-0 in favor of the Spartacats. Oh, that one drifted right through the blue paint. Cats have got to crash this blue paint. This one's going to go the other direction. And icing against the Raiders with 4 minutes exactly on the clock. Cats will have an offensive zone face-off just to the right of the Raiders' goal. Cats change defenders, keep the same set of forwards out there. Referee explaining exactly where they need to line up. Meller gets that one, feeds it with the backhand towards the crease. Cats will try to keep this in. This one's going to go. This is going to be icing again on the Raiders. So with 3:48 to go, another icing call and another offensive zone face-off. Raiders have a similar size bench as the Spartacats, and noticing 10 skaters. Spartacats have 11, so neither team dramatically larger than the other. Miller tries to win that one. That one rolls in on goal. Will count as a shot on goal. And now the Spartacats change their forwards. So Olsen, Mercel, and Nurka on the on the ice now. Just thinking of soccer. Olsen wins that face-off. Bauman can't get to that one. Scott has it. Hits a couple of bodies on the way in. Scott again hits a couple bodies on the way in. Nurka feeds the middle. This is Shack. Shack in the high slot. Shack with an opportunity. Shack shoots. That one goes high and wide. Keeper got to that one. Nice glove save by the Hastings keeper, as I think that might have ducked under the pipe had she not gotten a finger to that or a tip glove edge to that. Raiders breaking out of their own end. Spartacats trying to hold the zone. Raiders pitch that one out, and it goes the other direction. Shack's going to break her neck to get there. It does not go for icing. Shack is in the corner. Shack in the corner right side. Nurka now with the defense. This one gets wrapped around towards the point. Bauman's going to poke at that one. Raiders trying to hold it in and create a scoring opportunity. Scott spun around. Good rally defense that time by Shack. Going the other direction. Olsen whips that one towards the blue line, but kept in well, smartly, that time by the Raiders. This one falls kindly for Scott. Scott with a head of steam, gets it over the red line and dumps. Smart play that time by Zoe Scott. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here, first period. Raiders now on the far side try to get out. Cron keeps it in, but then a bit of a miss hit there. Now Cron's going to have another chance. Cats may have gotten away with too many men on the ice there. That's what happens when you have 10-year-old girls. This is Eden Meller getting to that one. Fires a pass, centering pass and slash shot. Nurka behind the net. Hastings breaking out far side. Cron claims. Cron tees it up, sends it in, rolls in. Opportunity for Miller, and Miller did not ever stick down. Miller was in the right position, but did not have her stick down. And that one's going to get out of the zone. It was off of Cron's stick. That will not go for icing, not that it was going to make it anyway. Donahue gets spun around by the ice, and now she comes near boards to Nelner. Nelner has it on her stick. She brings it out of the zone, sends it forward for Miller. Miller, if she can get control of it, does, uses the skate. Cross-ice shot. Marcel lurking on the back door. Cron and Marcel. Marcel leaves for Cron. Cron sends it in, but it goes behind the cage. Minute 17 to go here, first period. Donahue holds that in. Good energy from the Spartacats here early in this period. Miller with a shot. Rebound right in front of the goal, and it goes wide. Cron to the side. Cron fires. Opportunity for Miller if she can get to that one. She does. Missed the puck there on the attempted pass. Hastings looked to break out back door. Let's see if Cron can keep it in. She does momentarily, but she can't connect. She's going to have another chance at this. Sends it in. This is Marcel far side. 43 seconds to go. Spartacats. Marcel feeds it right through the middle, but none of the Spartacat forwards were covering. Spartacats turn that one over. Their shape is all messed up as Nelner was covering. 20 seconds to go. That one goes through the blue paint. J-War watches that one harmlessly. Good defense that time by Miller. Somebody needs to deflect that, and they score! With 9 seconds to go, a desperate throw against the goal, and it goes in. It took a deflection on the way in, and we are tied at the end of one, a period dominated by the Spartacats, but it's probably going to end 1-1 as the Hastings Raiders score to make it a tie hockey game. Spartacats were a little discombobulated on their shape and where they were in that whole sequence as Bauman brings that in. 2 seconds to go. And the period will expire. And the Hastings Raiders will feel good about getting some momentum. They were dominated in that first period, but managed to come back and get a goal on probably what would be described as maybe that might be their first shot of the game. And so the Raiders managed to get one late in the period with 9 seconds to go. And that is the kind of thing that you can't have if you're the Spartacats. Spartacats have got to make sure that those kinds of shots don't occur. And again, with 10 and 11-year-old girls, sometimes those lessons have to be learned. And the girls are learning those lessons now. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Even if I'm on mute, it's okay. I appreciate it anyway. Cats with dramatically more zone time than the Raiders. They've had several opportunities. A couple of times girls' sticks were in the air or not quite positioned properly. Otherwise, they probably would have put home a couple of rebounds or loose pucks in the paint. 12 minutes on the clock. Second period action ready to take place here in Blaine from rink number 3 at the Super Rink. Wilhelm will start in goal. Shack and Scott will be your defenders. And the Hastings Raiders will line up on the right side of your screen in their royal blues with the yellow helmets. Spartacats in white with the blue helmets and red numbers. And we are underway here in the second period. Shack and Scott looking at each other like who's going for that one. And here comes Maren Olsen. Maren Olsen out there with Bauman. Bauman almost curious. That was a curious attempt. Bauman to the corner, nicely done. Backhands that one towards the crease, but it doesn't make it there. This is Shack who claims, sends it in. This one rolls in on the goal, and the goal keeper claims that one for a good save. here with 11:25 to go in the second period. Music is about 25% too loud. Nurka, Nelner, and Meller are your forwards. Cron and Donahue on defense. Raiders changing 3. Opportunity for Miller. She comes in, walks right in after winning the face-off. Cron's able to hold that in. Cron sends it in, but it goes deflecting behind the net. Big collision of girls there in front of the net. That's go high off the glass. Cron claims that one at neutral ice. Slaps that off the end boards, and that drifts down into the Hastings end before they exit. Donahue's going to have to break her neck to get to this one. She's going to have a chance at it. Gets it out of the zone. Meller tries to push that forward. Donahue again. This falls, off of, I thought Meller was going to be able to get on the end of that. Didn't happen. Nurka now battles for it. The 3 Spartacat forwards in the back. As Cron slides that out, Meller gets it out of the zone. And offside against the Hastings Raiders is one of their players unable to get out of the zone. So with 10:31 to go here, second period, we will have a neutral zone face-off just outside the Spartacat zone. Actually it's going to come at center ice. Cats moving from left to right on your screen. Olsen wins that face-off, goes the other direction, brings it across the ice. Olsen again feeds it right through the middle. Opportunity for Shack. Can she get this on her forehand? She shoots from distance. It slides wide. Olsen's going to be the first to this. Somebody has to get in front of the net. Olsen with an opportunity. Bauman with a chance. Shack with it again, tries to backhand it in. It hits a couple of sticks going all the way in. Here's Olsen. Olsen shoots from distance. That goes wide. Marcel battling there. Everybody falling down. Shack holds the line. Nicely done. Marcel battles behind the net. Hastings trying to break out near side. Right side of your screen. Shack will step. Shack will keep it in. Spartacats forwards have got to go. They've got to go get it. And that's not going to be icing. Scott's going to have to break her neck to get back for this one. She does. She circles the net of Melissa Wilhelm. Breaks it out on the far side. That came out. But it doesn't matter as Maren Olsen has the puck on edge but brings it over the line. And we're going to have a penalty on Maren Olsen for high stick or a hold. High sticking for Maren Olsen, so a curious call despite missing some calls earlier in the game. The referees decide to call that one. I think it was a good call, but given that they've let everything else go, I'm not exactly sure where the level of physical play is here, but in any event, we play on. So Scott, Shack, Cron, Shack and Scott. Yes, Shack and Scott, your defenders. Meller and Nelner, your forwards. 4v5. Meller brings that over the line. Eden Miller, centering pass for Nelner. Doesn't quite come off as the defense got to that first. Cats have got to make sure, with one less player on the ice, they've got to make sure that they stay high. It's a 1-minute penalty. Half the penalty time has already expired. Cron's shot was not very hard and taken by the Hastings Raiders. This one comes in, goes cross ice. Donahue's going to chase this one down on the far corner. Donahue whips that up the boards. Spartacats trying to get that out. It's held in that time by the Raiders. That came out. That is absolutely out. Here's Eden Miller, but she's offside. You like the idea of the pass, but she was off. She created an offside situation. 6 seconds to go with a tie score at 1-1 between these two teams. 6 seconds to go in the penalty, 8:15 to go in the second period. And I hope you can hear me. That music is just oppressive. Although I do like the, it's a good tune. I mean, it's a great tune, but it's loud. This falls for Scott. Scott sends that off the boards. Nurka and Bauman, your penalty killers. Here's Olsen quickly out of the box. Chance for the Raiders as they get control of that one in the Spartacat end. And they come back the other direction. Cats dominated the first period, but were unable to leave that period with a lead. Sent to the near boards. Raiders pitch that down behind Wilhelm. Scott with it. Scott needs to get control of it far side. Does. Sends it up towards Bauman. And that one comes cross ice. And we're going to have another penalty. Again, after letting some stuff go early in the game, the referees have now decided to start calling penalties. And I think a teachable moment there might have been to just tell the girls that they can't do that. But if we're going to start calling penalties, we'll have to keep our eyes out to see if the Spartacats get the benefit of some of these calls. So we've got Scott and Shaq, your defenders, along with Bauman and Olsen. This one gets out of the zone, nicely done for Shaq. Shaq sends this forward for Olsen. It goes back the other way. Scott needs to get this on her stick. She does. Circles behind the net, fires out, but it's blocked that time by the Raiders. Raiders holding in far side. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage for the Raiders. Raiders unable to keep track of that one. Here comes Maren Olsen. Maren Olsen goes to the backhand. Now she shifts to the forehand. It falls kindly for Bauman. Bauman walks in. Bauman walks it to the front of the net. Olsen with it again. I check it. That's Bauman. Bauman fires, but it's blocked. Kron pinches in trying to hold it in. And that's sent deep. That's going to go for icing. And icing against the Raiders as penalty time expires for the Spartacats. So Spartacats kill off 2 penalties successfully. 6:27 to go. 6:27 to go, second period, and a 1-1 score. Play at the top of the screen. This is Kron and Donahue. Miller wins that faceoff, walks right in on the keeper, and puts it right in her breadbasket. Marcel was lurking on the back door looking for a rebound. Miller may have figured out something. Second or third time she's done that here in this game. Surely the Cats, if they continue to dominate zone time, should have more goals. Opportunity here for the Cats. Donahue's shot is blocked and deflected inside. Nicely done. This falls for Nelner. Nelner gets it on her backhand, hits side of the net. Raiders come the other way. Kron's going to step in, try to keep it in. She does momentarily, falls happily for Miller. Miller has her shot off a couple of sticks. Nelner fires. That one hits side netting. Hastings tries to get this out. This is Donahue at the point. Donahue sends this down and goes behind the net. Marcel battling there. Didn't quite get to Marcel. Miller through the crease. She's going to try to keep it deep. Marcel now causes the Raiders to turn around and go the other direction. And now the Raiders have a chance to break this out. They do. And that's going to be, well, it's not offsides. Cats just got out as Donahue holds that in. Donahue centering pass. Opportunity there for Marcel. And she couldn't get to it. As the keeper covers that one. 5:23 to go here, second period. Spartacats have to get back to the same energy they had here in the first period. Ruth Jaywar now taking the goal crease from Melissa Wilhelm. Shaq and Scott out there along with Baker, Olsen, and I think Bauman. Olsen wins the faceoff, sends it in towards goal, but it's claimed by the Raiders. This one goes off of a stick, and Shaq will chase this out to neutral ice. Shaq pinches that back in. Bauman loses an edge. This is Olsen. Olsen claims that one. Good poke check by Olsen. Olsen to the side. Olsen shoots. It hits side netting. Glove down that time by the keeper. This one comes to the point. Shack able to hold that in. Whips it down. And the Raiders will try to get it out again. And Shack again sends it right back down, right side of your screen. Baker giving chase. Unlucky that time for the Raiders. Baker plays it out going the wrong way though. Shack misses it. And now it's a 2-on-1 going the other direction. Scott tied up forced the play to go the other way. Olsen can't get that one out. He just needs to get out of the zone. 4.5, just under 4.5 minutes to go here. Second period. Scott with it, pitches that out. It gets out of the zone. Cats need a whistle. Scott keeps it out of the zone. Ping pong hockey right in front of the Hastings bench in the scorer's table. Now a Hastings defender gets it. She tries to go cross ice. This is going to be icing. Now it's not icing. And here's an opportunity for Olsen. Olsen gets the turnover. Olsen with an opportunity. Olsen walks in. Olsen! And it hit the back of the skate. Hastings goalkeeper living right. As the back of the skate, I think, Olsen had her beat, but the back of the skate, I think it was the skate blade that kept the puck out. This puck goes the other direction. Hastings with it there. Miller with a forecheck. Almost gets on the other end of it. Now Nurka gets on the end of it, sends it in towards the crease, but it's played there by the Raiders. And the Cats are able to keep it in. Kron sends it to the other side. Nurka, Nelner, and Miller, your forwards. Eden Miller feeds that through, comes back towards the crease. Nurka battling there. Miller's done it several times. Now she comes to the point. This takes a touch to Donahue, who sends it in. Good defense that time. And here go the Raiders. They're going to escape the zone. Not make it too much farther, though, as Meller jumps on that quickly, far side. Kron goes for the poke check. Didn't quite work out, but here's Kron. Kron with a head of steam. Kron pumping the little legs. Brings it over the blue line. Opportunity for Kron. Good defense that time by the Raiders, and a centering pass is blocked by the defense. Here's an opportunity here for the Spartacats. It rolls in. Meller still waiting on the back door. Nelner unable to keep it in, but it comes to Donahue. Good poke check there by Nurka. This one goes right through everybody's legs to the far corner. Miller feeds the point. Kron takes a touch to it, walks it in, sends it in towards Miller. Miller in the corner. Now cross crease pass, and this will go for Marcel far side. Marcel again, cross pass. Opportunity here for, oh, she scores from behind the net. Eden Miller scores from behind the net. What black magic did Eden Miller conjure on that one? Scoring from behind the net. Top shelf, and the goalie was absolutely at the mercy of Eden Miller that time. No defender was able to get on the other end of it. What a play by Eden Miller. Goalie really got lost on that one, only because who would have expected something like that? And the Cats back to a 1-goal lead at 2-1. They've been better here in these. Hastings has been better here in this second period.
Scoring for the Spartacats, number 2, Eden Miller.
The Cats do have the goal that they need to get the lead back. Marcel with the assist. Shack's pass, exit pass, blocked. Now it comes for, this is Olsen. Olsen with an opportunity, brings it over the blue line. Olsen walks in, and Olsen shoots and scores. Sorry about that, folks. Camera didn't quite move. Olsen had cut in right side of your screen. She shoots and scores in 2 quick goals in succession. Now only 1 minute, 7 seconds left in the second period. And Olsen cashes in for that one. It's 3-1 now in favor of the Spartacats. Sorry about that. Was not able to get my camera turned quite fast enough. Shaq and Scott are your defenders. Olsen still out there along with Marcel and Bauman.
Number 24, Marin Olsen, assisted by number 3, Olivia Shaq. That's
J-War shot, opportunity there at the crease. J-War standing firm. 44 seconds to go here in the second period. Cats now out to their biggest lead of the game, 2 goals. On the strength of a Marin Olsen and a Eden Miller goal. Goals from those two. So critical now that the Spartacats get out of their own end. Do not concede, as in the first period they conceded with 9 seconds to go. This one's gonna roll in on J-War. There's a rebound. It's still loose. J-War finally covers that one up. Refs letting them play a little bit. We've seen quick whistles before, but Cats with 34 seconds to go need to get this out of the zone. They need to get it out of the zone. You would think that the Spartacat players would know that. They just need to get it out of the zone. They don't need to create offense. They just has to come out of the zone. Here's Eden Miller, tries to bring it to the blue line. That slides out. That came out. And that's unlucky. Unlucky for the Spartacats, as Nelder and Miller were both going the other direction. Offside against the Hastings Raiders. Hastings wins that faceoff, brings it across the blue line. 24 seconds to go. Cron whips that one around. Comes to the near side. Miller will chase it there. Whoa, falls down. Takes a Raider out. I think the puck is still in. Referee says it's still in. Cats just need to get this out over the blue line. And Cron does get it out. Good cross-ice pass to Nelner. Nelner battling in the middle of the ice. Baker will try to get to it, and that will expire the time for the second period. Second period that saw the Spartacats and the Raiders matched up at locked horns at 1. And they have extended the lead now to 2 goals, a 3-1 score heading into the third period for your Spartacats. Raiders played better in that second period than they played in the first, but the 2 goals of the period went to the Spartacats. Check what? Oh, yeah. So maybe we are going to get an in-game update on the Woodbury score, the Woodbury-Wayzata score. Oh, boy, oh boy. I hope the video is good on that Eden Miller goal, because again, she was behind the net, reached the puck around and sent it up to the top of the roof of the net. I really don't see how players score from those angles. It was really incredible. Third period action starting here in Blaine. The Spartacats and the Raiders. Spartacats with a lead. That's going to be offside. Yeah, offside against the Spartacats with 11:52 to go. So Woodbury is ahead of Wayzata. Woodbury is ahead of Wayzata 4-0. So Woodbury looks like they're cruising in the other semifinal. This falls for Scott. So they're playing Please Don't Stop the Music, and she stops the music just as they say please don't stop the music. I think that's rather ironic, don't you? In any event, we play on. The Raiders behind their own net, trying to break out on this near side. Backhand swipes at that one, comes for Olsen. Olsen sees an opportunity, fires it high, falls for Nurka. Nurka tries to sweep that on to goal, but just a little too wide. I like the play by Olsen, and I think Olsen, well, I was going to say, I think Olsen could have maybe been called there for a penalty, but referee's right on top of it. Hastings Raiders break that one out. Good poke check that time by Bauman. Raiders control, however. This shot's going to go behind Wilhelm, who's back in goal for the Spartacats. Olsen chips that one up the boards. That one got out. And we'll have offsides against the Raiders with 10:55 to go. Did you notice they were playing the song, Please Don't Stop the Music? And just as she said, please don't stop the music, she stopped the music. Sorry, I just had to point that out to another parent because that's kind of the funny stuff that you think about at, 7:46 in the morning. This is Nelner. Nelner over the blue line, has a lot of company. Great centering pass by Nelner. Can Cron keep this in? She does. She shoots from distance. It goes right into the pads of the Hastings keeper. Nope. Hastings keeper doing a great job of squeezing those pads together. That shot had a lot of heat on it. Great centering pass from Nelner. Unlucky for the Spartacats, they didn't get a cash in there. And then Cron's shot was right on. Nelner battling near side, 1v3. Here come the Raiders. Donahue backs up. Goes for the poke check. Raiders will try to dump it in around her. Here's Cron to get this one behind Wilhelm's net. She slaps it towards Miller. It's going to ring around and avoid everybody. Comes back to the middle. Donahue gets that out of the zone. Mercell going to try to keep it in. It comes out. Raiders pitch this one back in. It's right under the camera. This is Cron. Cron goes far side looking for Miller. Miller tried to feather that on, but it was kept out initially by the Raiders. Now it escapes the zone. It's played to the middle. Here's Bauman. Bauman has been hot all week. Bauman turns, spins, fires this down, but it ends up off the stick of a Raider. Bauman falls down. Everybody falls down. Scott with it on her stick blade. Tries to pinch in from the point. Cats changing on behind Scott. Bauman pitches it in. This is Baker quickly off the bench. Raiders with it again. This turns for Scott. Scott now with a chance sends this forward. This is Bauman. Bauman tries to bring it in, and that's offside as the poke check from the Raiders had worked, pushing this out the other direction. 9:04 to go here in the third period. And a neutral zone face-off just outside the Raider line.
The sun slappers, the self-sorters, the harmony ushers.
I have no idea what kind of intermission music this is.
It cannot always.
It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We'll go back to the Bon Jovi, please. In any event we play on, Olsen tries to keep that in. Shack sends it in, and that's offside against the Spartacats. Another neutral zone face-off. This one will come, I think, from neutral ice, from center ice. 8:51 to go. Again, Spartacats with a 3-1 lead. Next goal, as you might imagine, next goal absolutely crucial. If the Raiders are able to get one back, that would be huge for them. On the other hand, if the Spartacats get one more, that will create quite the hill for the Raiders to climb out of. Olsen, Bauman, and I think that's Nurka over there. Your forwards, Scott and Shack on defense. Wilhelm still in goal. Face-off win heads towards the Raider net, but it's picked up by the Raider defense and sent out towards the point. Shack battling there. Good physical play. Puck's loose. Now it gets out of the zone. It's sent neutral. It's to the side here. Bauman tries to get that in. Loses her edge. This falls kindly for Nurka, but it goes behind the net. Raiders on the far side will attempt to break out there. Shack does a nice job of holding it in. Olsen battling there. Referee creating a little bit of congestion. This one comes to the point. Shack able to keep that in. Again, Cats just keeping it in the zone, doing a nice job of holding the zone. Shack sends this one down behind the Raider net as these Cats change 4 skaters behind Olivia Shack. This one comes to the point. Zoe Scott sends this one down. Forecheck for the Spartacats with Nelner, Nurka, and Meller on the ice. It's to the far side. Shack pitches that to the middle. This falls for Nurka. Nurka with a quick shot, turnaround shot. And this one goes to the far side. Shack pinching there. Shack sends that down into the corner. Behind the net, that's where Eden Miller likes to be. She's centering pass for Nelner. Had it on the backhand. Shack's gonna have a chance to put this in. She does. Takes a couple of bounces. Good defense that time by the Raiders, not allowing that puck to get in on their goalie. And now the Raiders are gonna have a chance here to break out, but it's gonna be taken away from them by Nelner. Nelner feeds that forward. That's gonna be icing. And Nelner just not close enough to the red line. So with 6:58 to go here, third period, Spartacats in the semifinal, looking to match up a little later today in the final. Face-off win that time nominally by the Raiders. Olsen over that one. Marcel pushes it up the other side. Cats need to attack the puck. Oh, pass to the point just got away from everyone. Marcel breaking her neck to get back. Create a forecheck. Circles to the inside though. That's claimed there by, almost claimed by Kron. It falls kindly for Olsen who sends that in. Sticked aside by the keeper. If the Spartacats are able to hold on to this lead and are able to win this semifinal, they will play in the final at 11 o'clock as Kron brings it in offside. And we will have, with 6:20 to go, a neutral zone faceoff. As one of the Spartacats not able to get out of the zone, Kron desperately hoping that somehow the referees would miss that one. Bauman, Olsen, and Marcel, your forwards. Kron, Donahue on defense. J-War has taken her spot in goal from Wilhelm. Kron and Donahue ride the Raiders into the corner. Shot from well out, blocked that time by one of the Raiders. That one goes wide, and it's played and frozen there by J-War with 5:58 to go. Again, 3-1 to the Spartacats. Yeah, see, this is pretty solid hockey arena music. Deep Purple, very solid. Smoke on the Water. That's the riff that everybody learns when they're learning how to play guitar, I think. I know because one of my sons who took guitar lessons did that. This one falls for the Raiders. Deflection in front of J-War, but she watches it go harmlessly into the corner. Cats need to get out of their zone. Baker battles in the corner. Good centering pass that time, and it falls for Eden Miller. Eden Miller hits the Jets. Eden Miller by one defender, Eden Miller by two defenders. Goes to the side, got a little too deep, and nobody there there was no centering pass, she just missed that one and went behind the net. Nelner strong on her skates, sends that down behind the Hastings net. Raiders steaming through neutral ice. Good swipe at that one from Meller. This one's going to be sent in. No icing as Scott had a swing at it. Scott plays that up for Nelner. Nelner tries to get it out. It hits the Raiders. Sticks. Shack clears that one through. Finds a pass to Meller. Meller, couldn't handle that one cleanly. Sends it across. Nelner gets it. She's in over the blue line. Could have been a penalty there, maybe. Everybody's falling down, but we're going to call interference earlier. I think you could probably call that. Nurka brought that right into the crease, into the painted area. And the Spartacats unable to cash in, but the Hastings goalie quickly on top of that one. 4:39 to go. If the Spartacats manage to win this game, they will play in the final, the championship game, at 11 o'clock today. Olsen wins that faceoff, sends it in towards goal. Bauman's going to chase that in the corner, left side of your screen. Hastings now breaking out on the near side. Cron backhands that, but it goes right to the Raiders. Good job by Nurka pitching that down into the Raider end. Cats just need to control the puck, not give the Raiders any easy opportunities. Cron pitches that one towards the boards. This is Olsen. Olsen around one defender. Olsen seems to neutralize. She's got 3 defenders, fires that in from distance, and it rolls past the Hastings keeper. Good step that time by Olsen. And it almost fell nicely for Olsen from Nurka on the far side. Cron's going to try to hold that in. Cron fires, but hits a couple of skates on the way in. 3 minutes, 34 seconds to go here. It's third period. This one comes to the point. Donahue not able to hold that one in, and she plays that in. And offside against the Spartacats. We'll see the faceoff come to neutral ice. 3:26 to go. Miller wins that faceoff, goes charging through the middle. Opportunity for Nelner. She backhands that one on goal, but it goes wide. This is Nurka. Feeds that towards the crease. Check it, that was Mercell feeding that towards the crease. Now the Hastings Raiders come up the near side. Hastings with a good head of steam. Good back check here by Nelner. That's offside, but it doesn't matter as the puck's played quickly out. Raiders with it again. Under 3 minutes to go here. 2-goal lead for the Spartacats. Just need to be smart. Keep that puck in front of you and make sure it gets out of the zone. Keep it in the Raider zone. Referee not able to get out of the way of that one. This one comes to neutral ice, and that's offside as Baker was fast off the bench. 2:42 to go. Third period. And the Spartacats looking strong, but still could use another goal to salt this one away. Olsen, Bauman, Baker, your forwards. Donahue and Cron, your defenders. This one comes to the near side. Forwards are going to try to keep this in. Baker tries to hold it at the point. Referee right on the line. Stays in. This is Bauman. She feathers that towards the slot, but Cat's unable to keep it in. Dangerous D-to-D pass there from Donahue to Cron. Cron was calling for it. That's not a situation, Lauren, where you call for that. You get it out, though. That's offside. And with 2 minutes, 5 seconds to go, another stoppage. And all the stoppages working for the Spartacats as the coach is able to give them advice on what to do and where to line up. 3-1 Spartacats. Clock is now running. 2 minutes to go here in this third period. A 2-goal lead. Nelner, right below your camera, goes the other direction. Raiders control. Miller with a deep forecheck forces the Raiders to go the other direction. Miller comes out of that one, feeds it towards the crease, and an opportunity. Cron has this chance, sets it up, fires, takes a deflection on the way in and slides wide. Miller again hits the back of the net, and then it comes to the near corner. Miller feeds that for Donahue. Donahue goes cross ice to Cron. Cron with a chance. She skates it in. She shoots from distance. It's blocked. Lauren's got to find something other than a defender. Lauren with it in the far corner. She feeds it forward. Opportunity for the Cats as Nurka followed up on the rebound. Good job by Izzy Nurka holding that down deep. 1:13 to go. Here in the third period. This one's not going to go for icing. Cron's going to have to move those legs a little bit faster. She hammers it off the boards, but it doesn't come out. Good back check that time by Nurka, and that does make it out. And offside against the Raiders. 57 seconds to go. And the Spartacats can almost taste it. An opportunity to play in the championship game here at Danglefest. It almost makes getting up at 4:30 this morning worth it. Almost. Cats win that faceoff, but it goes immediately to the Raiders. Cats just need to keep this out of their own zone. This is Scott and Shaq on defense. Scott sends that out. It finds neutral ice. This is Marcel right under your camera. Marcel sends that down the other direction. Marcel loses an edge, goes down. Battle there for Scott. Olsen backhands that one to the middle. But here come the Raiders. Raiders pitch that one down deep. Goalie for the Raiders still in her net. This comes to the opportunity here. I was going to say comes to the Spartacats and an opportunity. 18 seconds, 17 seconds. Raiders circle their cage. And the Spartacats are going to be able to hold the zone on the far side with Olivia Schack. 10 seconds to go. And the Spartacats, Maren Olsen, trying to put one more on the board, but she's going to be denied by a stingy defense. A defense that did not concede too many goals. And that is it. The Spartacats are 3-1 victors over the Hastings Raiders here at Danglefest. In the semifinal, they will play at 11 o'clock, and they will most likely play the Woodbury Predators. The Woodbury Predators and the Spartacats have played twice already this season with one tie and a one-goal win, a 4-3 win for the Spartacats from Woog Arena. So it should be a very exciting, a very up and down, very high-tempo game.
Congratulations to both teams. Our player of the games are number 98, Izzy Nurka, and number 89, Andy Ellens.
So Nurka, the player of the game for the Spartacats, and she gets the teddy bear, which every girl wants. And we will be back at 11 o'clock with coverage of the championship game between the Woodbury Predators and the Spartacats. Final score here from Blaine in this semifinal at Danglefest. Final score, Spartacats 3 and the Raiders 1. Good morning, everybody, and we will see you later.